My fiancé demanded, "I want a $300,000 wedding or no wedding at all." I replied, "Then there won't be one. I can't put myself in lifelong debt." So, I canceled the venue, got a refund, and 72 hours later, her mom called me begging. 2 Male AM, or rather, was engaged to Rachel, 29F. We've been together for 4 years. I thought we were happy. I thought we were on the same page about life, our future, everything. I'm a project manager for a construction company. I make good money. I'm financially responsible. I have a solid 5-year plan, a house, kids, a life. I thought Rachel was part of that plan. The proposal was perfect. She cried. I cried. Everyone was thrilled. We started planning the wedding about 3 months ago. I'd saved aggressively and had about $50,000 set aside specifically for this. I figured, with contributions from her parents, we could have a really beautiful, memorable wedding for around $60,000 to $70,000 without anyone going into debt. That was my first mistake, assuming we were living in the same reality. Last Saturday, we sat down to finalize the budget. I had my spreadsheet open, showing her my savings and projecting costs. She was quiet, too quiet. Then she slid a binder across the table. It was thick, full of magazine cutouts, fabric swatches, and printouts from high-end wedding blogs. "What's this?" I asked. "This is the vision," she said, her voice a little dreamy. "Mom and I have been working on it." I flipped through it. The venues were literal castles. The floral arrangements looked like they belonged in the lobby of a 5-star hotel. The dresses, plural, were couture. I didn't even want to guess the price of the catering. I chuckled. "This is amazing, babe. A girl can dream, right? Now, let's look at what we can actually." "No." She cut me off. Her eyes were hard. "This isn't a dream. This is the wedding I deserve." My stomach dropped. "Rachel, this is hundreds of thousands of dollars. $300,000 to be more accurate," she said without blinking. "That's the baseline." I just stared at her. I thought it was a joke, a test. I waited for her to laugh, to say gotcha. But she just sat there, looking at me expectantly. "Where would that money come from?" I finally managed to say. "I have $50 saved. That's everything I have for this. I'm not taking out a second mortgage on a house I don't even own yet." "Well," she said, sighing like I was a particularly dense child, "you're a man. You figure it out. Get a loan. Sell some of your stocks. It's an investment in us." The conversation went downhill from there. It became clear this wasn't just her idea. It was her mother Carolyn's grand vision. They saw this wedding as our social debut, a statement to their circle. My practicality was seen as an insult. My refusal to go into crippling debt was interpreted as me not thinking she was worth it. It ended with the ultimatum, the one from the title. Her exact words, delivered with chilling finality. "I've been dreaming of this day my entire life. I will not compromise on it. It's a $300,000 wedding or there is no wedding at all." I'm not an emotional person. My job is to look at a problem, assess the risks, and make a logical decision. And in that moment, the woman I loved presented me with a catastrophic project plan, a plan designed to bankrupt us before we even began, all for the sake of a one-day party. I looked at her, the woman I thought I knew, and I felt a profound sense of loss. It wasn't just about the money. It was about the complete and total disconnect from reality, the sheer, unadulterated entitlement. So I made a logical decision. "Okay," I said, my voice eerily calm, "if that's your choice, then I choose no wedding." She scoffed. "You're bluffing." "I'm not," I replied, standing up. "I can't start a marriage based on a foundation of debt and delusion. I love you, but I won't do this. So there won't be one." She just stared, her jaw slack. I think she genuinely believed I'd grovel, that I'd promise her anything. The next day was Monday. I went to work feeling hollowed out. During my lunch break, I called the venue we had put a $5,000 deposit on. It was a lovely rustic barn place that we had both supposedly loved. Thankfully, the place is incredibly popular with a long waiting list, so their contract offers a full refund on the deposit if you cancel with at least 90 days notice. We were on day 82. They could rebook the date in a heartbeat. I emailed them the formal cancellation notice. The full refund should be processed in 5 to 7 business days. I haven't spoken to Rachel since the fight, complete radio silence. I figured she was waiting for me to crack. But this morning, exactly 72 hours after I canceled the venue, my phone rang. It was Carolyn, her mother. I expected screaming. I expected threats. What I got was begging. "Patrick, honey," she began, her voice dripping with fake sweetness, "Rachel is just devastated. You know how she gets. You need to fix this. You need to call the venue back and tell them it was a mistake." I told her I wasn't going to do that the wedding was off. Her voice sharpened. "Don't be ridiculous. We've already told everyone to save the date. My brother from out of state has already booked his flight. You can't embarrass us like this. You need to be a man and give my daughter the wedding she deserves." And that's where we are. She's not begging for her daughter's relationship. She's begging me to save her from social embarrassment. Rachel hasn't reached out. Her mom is demanding I go into debt for her family's pride. And I've never been more certain that I've made the right decision. Update 1. It's been a wild week. Thank you all for the support and the DMs. It's validating to know I'm not crazy. Things have escalated just as many of you predicted. The entitlement isn't just a leak anymore, it's a fire hose. So after Carolyn's call, I laid low. I blocked her number but kept Rachel unblocked, hoping she'd come to her senses and we could at least have a mature conversation about ending things. That was naive. On Wednesday, I got a flurry of texts from Rachel. Not apologies, not questions, demands. It was a bulleted list. The ring, she wants it, which is fair. It's a conditional gift. I've already arranged to have it picked up by a courier. Financial reimbursement, she demanded $5,000 for the emotional labor and time she put into planning the non-existent $300,000 wedding. She said she spent countless hours on Pinterest making that binder. Slander damages, she claimed I slandered her by making her look materialistic to the venue staff. I literally just sent a professional cancellation email. She wanted another $2,500 for that. The watch, this was the kicker. My grandfather passed away 2 years ago. He left me his vintage Omega Constellation Master from the 1960s. It's not flashy, but it's a classic. It's my single most prized possession. His letter said he hoped I'd wear it on my wedding day as a symbol of timeless love. Rachel knew this. Her text read, "Since we were going to be family, the watch should be considered a family heirloom I wanted as compensation for the public humiliation." Reading that text, any lingering sadness I had evaporated and was replaced by a cold, hard resolve. This wasn't a misguided, heartbroken woman. This was a grift. I took 24 hours to cool off. I booked a 1-hour consultation with a lawyer to understand my rights and make sure I was protected. Then I replied, not by text, but by email. I kept it professional and based it on the legal advice I received. Subject, dissolution of engagement and property. Rachel. Per your text messages, here is my formal response. The engagement ring will be collected by a secure courier on Friday at 10 a.m. Please have it ready. I will not be providing any monetary compensation for emotional labor or perceived slander. There is no legal basis for such a claim. My grandfather's watch is my personal property, a family heirloom from my side of the family. It was never a gift to you, nor was it ever considered marital property. It will remain in my possession. Please direct any further correspondence regarding material possessions through this email address. I wish you the best in the future, Patrick. The response was instantaneous and nuclear. Within minutes, her father Dennis called me. Dennis is usually a quiet, passive man who lets Carolyn run the show. Not this time. He was screaming, not about Rachel's broken heart, but furious that I had formally refused their demands. "What the hell is your problem?" he yelled. "You embarrassed her. You call off the wedding and now you're sending cold, formal emails over a goddamn watch?" "I'm just protecting myself, Dennis," I said calmly. "Your daughter is demanding thousands of dollars in personal property that doesn't belong to her. She's upset. You've humiliated her. My wife had to cancel the calligrapher. Do you know how embarrassing that is?" He sputtered. "The calligrapher? That's what this was about, the deposits they put down on their end without telling me for their fantasy wedding. They weren't just mad, they were out of pocket. This is where it gets dirty." The next day, I saw a post on Carolyn's Facebook page. It was public. No names, but it was obvious. So sad to see a young woman give her heart to a man who turns out to be controlling and financially. You can click on share and more to see if there is a part 2.